Make sure this is going, and I'm gonna go ahead and record this. Awesome. Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, I started my day off. I'm still wearing my workout outfit, but I didn't go to the gym this morning. So good times. Okay, a couple things. Just want to get out of the way. Today I want to do just like last week. A little bit of role play, but there's a couple things that I want to do first. I want to show you guys how I go on Privy and how I find deals on Privy. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be texting a bunch of agents, trying to set up some calls, and then I'm going to be dialing on some listings that maybe they're, it's maybe an office line. And I'll kind of explain that in a second. But if you don't have the scripts that I'm going to be using, it's going to be in the chat. You can go ahead and download those. I think everybody on here probably already has those, but that's where you can find those. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna jump right into this, dude. Let's get some time to get some deals, y'all. All right. So I know that a lot of you guys who are part of the blueprints, you guys already give me 1 second. Cool. I know a lot of you guys who are part of the blueprints, a lot of the things that I share in the course is basically going to be how to prospect using Zillow. I gotta let these guys in. This is kind of annoying. I try to make everything free and easy for anybody who wants to get into this space. I know money's tight for a lot of people, so using Zillow is a great way to find deals. I do use Privy. There is a cost associated with it. For me, I find it narrows down my it just makes it easier for me to find deals. There's a lot of ways you can use Privy to comp deals and to see what other properties that have been flipped in the area, like what they were bought for and what they were sold for and at what percentage, and how to find cash buyers. I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff today. I just want to show you guys like how I go about prospecting, the process and the system that I use. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm just going to kind of go through everything just kind of quickly. A lot of times I like to start with texting the agents to see if they're available for a phone call. And the reason I do that is because if I call the agent and I catch them at a bad time, it can be a little awkward sometimes. And I know that there are other people who will say, look, call the agent, call several times, leave a voicemail. Like you can do all of those things. For me personally, I know that when someone calls and I don't recognize the number, I'm not answering it. It's going to be like Yelp trying to sell me some marketing package or some underwriter or some Google advertiser trying to sell me some BS. So I don't really answer those. And I think for the most part, a lot of people don't. So what I like to do is I like to text the agent and say, hey, this is what, actually, I'm going to put my script. I printed my script out. So this is the text that I send all of the agents. I don't know how to get back to the text thing. Give me a second, chat. There it is. This is the text that I will send. It's in the chat to try to set up a call for later, versus calling 100 times over and over. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see all of that. So I should be sharing my screen, my Privy screen. Does everybody see that? Sandy, can you see my Privy screen? We good? Can I get a thumbs up?
Yes, I see it. We're
good? Cool. It's awesome to have you on here too. So here's what I'm going to do. The one thing about Privy is it can be like a little bit laggy, which is kind of annoying. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to reset this. And I'm going to be looking in Oklahoma City today. This is a good market to be in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by selecting deals. And then I'm going to go over here to this fix and flip. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up properties that are on the market that are potential fix and flip deals. Okay. Here's the thing. The data that they go off of, it's just like any other data. It's not always going to be perfect. So we still have to do some work. We can't automate all of this. Okay. So the next thing we need to do, now we have potential fix and flip deals. We want to start running some filters. Okay. And here's what we want to do. I want to go here and I want to go in this MLS deals, and I want to bring this ARV number down to about 60%. You can even do 65%. It just depends on how much you want to narrow it down. But basically what it's saying is, anybody who, any property that's on market and it currently looks like it's on market for 65% of the ARV, it's going to show me that. So these should be properties that are technically below market. But there are all kinds of things that you have to take into consideration with what's happening with the market and the condition of the property and everything else. So again, it's not going to be perfect, but for me, I find this a lot easier and faster than Zillow. If you don't have the money for this program, it's all good. You can still use Zillow to find these properties. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to days on market, and I want to just start at anything that's been on market for 30 days or longer. Okay. These are going to be people who might be a little bit more motivated to sell. But the other thing is that it's going to come with some additional kind of problems, right? So if a property has been on the market for 30 days or longer, why? Like, why has the property been sitting on the market? Well, it could be priced too high. There could be problems that maybe we don't know about, that maybe other investors found out about, meaning, let's say it was on the market for 5 days, it went under contract, and then an investor bought it and it fell out. Well, that's going to extend the days on market, but it also means that whatever that problem is, like, we need to know what that is, right? Like, we need to know what the heck's going on with this property. Okay. So it's going to create challenges, but the thing is in this business is that if you can solve those challenges, that's how you make money. I mean, that's what we do. Everybody says, like, we solve problems. Honestly, like, when I hear that, it feels kind of corny. I don't know why. It just does. But the reality is that's exactly what we do. But we have to find those problems and pinpoint them. And we have to establish some sort of credibility to where when we're talking to the agent, they believe that we can solve those problems. Okay. So I went ahead and I did days on market at 30 days. And then I'm just going to run the search. Okay. And this is going to narrow down all of the properties that are in Oklahoma City that are at 65% ARV or estimated, and that have been on market for 30 plus days. And you can see up here, you can see how this shows, right? So this is active, listed 30 days ago. This red arrow is a very good indicator. That it's not a very good indicator. It is an indicator that the price has recently been dropped. Okay. So these are people who are going to be a little bit more motivated. And what I want to do for some of you guys that are on here, just because I know there's a lot of you guys that are on here that are part of the Blueprint family and you guys are submitting deals and these types of things, I want to take a quick second to talk about some of the deals that are not deals. Okay. So I'll give you an example. If I look at this property, it's been active. It was listed 31 days ago, 365,000. I'm going to go ahead and click into this. Okay. What's the very first thing that you notice about this property? It looks great, doesn't it? It's been completely rehabbed. It's been updated or whatever. I mean, the kitchen is beautiful. Like, this is a great property. Okay. So what does that mean for us as investors? It means that there's no way for us to really add value to this property. Okay. And so here's why I'm bringing up this point. Let me get some water real quick. Here's why I'm bringing up this point. The property's on market for $365,000 and it's been on market for 31 days. So is the ARV on this property 365? Absolutely not. It's going to be below that number, right? Because if this property could sell for 365, it would have already done that in 31 days. They'd have some offers and some things going on there. Okay. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because what I see sometimes people will do is they'll go and they'll look at a property like this. They'll look at comps in the area and they'll say, oh, well, the comps show that this property, the ARV is 400,000. But even if the comps show that, if the property has been on the market for below that number and it's not selling, the market is going to determine the value of the property. If no one is willing to pay 365, then no one's going to be willing to pay 400, especially if we don't do anything to the property. Okay. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but you'd be surprised. Maria, no deal. Jeremy, too nice. Agreed. But you'd be surprised at how many times I get lead forms that come in into underwriting where it will be a property like this and it's in great condition. And I'm like, well, how do we add value to this? And we can't. And now here's the thing. Could this be a deal? Like maybe like and I'm just talking about like a cash transaction. Well, I don't know if they'd sell it for 200,000 bucks, 250 grand, 270. I don't know whatever the number is. Remember, when we buy the house, let's say this property is 365. The actual ARV, because it's not selling at 365, is going to be below that number. So it might be, just for lack of a better example, 350,000. Okay, now at 350, let's say that is going to be the actual price this property sells in a completely hypothetical scenario. Well, from that 350, we have to minus a bunch of numbers, right? We have to take our listing fees off that number. We have to take closing costs off that number. And so the margin starts to go down. So now you're at 350, you take out, let's say 6 to 8%, you're now down to, I don't know, 320, whatever that number is. Then you got to make margin for yourself, 300. Then you got to make margin for whoever you wholesale it to, 280. So is this person going to sell this house for 280,000 bucks? Probably not. Okay. And so it takes cash deals kind of off the table. But what this could be a potential deal, where this could be a potential deal is maybe subject to, maybe we can take over this property subject to, maybe the current balance is 365. Maybe they have to sell it at that number. So how are we going to know that? Well, the only way we're going to know that is if we call and ask, like, hey, notice this property's been on market for 31 days. Why do you think it's not selling? This property's beautiful. The agent's going to tell you right away, well, it's overpriced. It's too high. And that's really going to be the only answer, because if it wasn't priced too high, then it would be selling, right? See what I'm saying? So I just want to make the point. This is not a cash type deal. It is a great sub-to deal. But when you go into the conversation with the agent, you need to be thinking, okay, this is going to be the only potential opportunity, maybe a seller finance deal. It could also be a potential seller finance deal as well. Okay. So I want to point that out. So let's go through some of these houses and let's see what would be a good deal to call on. Okay. So I'm going to jump into this one, price at 154, recent price drop. I'm going to go in here and look at it. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not in bad shape. Could you, in terms of the exterior, maybe do something there? Sure. I can't see anything on the inside. There are no interior pictures. So I want to read this description. New price alert. All buyers look at this. Well maintained, blah, blah, blah. Many improvements, still room to update. Don't miss this opportunity. Agent buyer should verify information. Don't miss this great opportunity. Could this be a deal? Sure. We're going to circle back to this one. Okay. I want to find a property that we want to call on. Okay. Because I can't see the inside of it, which means there's probably tenants in it that, are either not letting the listing agent in or something. There is a reason for that. Okay. So let's go through this. Let's look at this thing. All right. It's blue, which may or may not be the style. Definitely not my style. What's the interior? Like it could, I mean, it doesn't look bad. This is not a potential deal that we want to be working on. Let's look at this toilet, 94,000. Okay, here we go. Do we got a winner? Everybody, we got a winner here? Is this dump something we want to call on? Yes, it absolutely is. So Maria jumps in there. Check out this fixer-upper opportunity. Winner, winner, Sandy. That's what I'm talking about. Tenant just moved out. Property needs some work. Has tons of potential. Sold as is. Blah, 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 blah. Listing agent is related to seller. That's just some sort of disclosure. Dragonfly Realty and Management. Listing office phone. We're going to call that in just a second. Because now if this said listing, like if this said, listing office, I don't know. Sometimes it'll have like the listing agent's name and we can just call directly to them. We'll go on Zillow and try to get direct to the agent. A couple things I want to show you about this program. Okay. And I don't do any of this before I call, but I want to do it while I'm on this, on the Zoom with you guys. The benefit to this program is looking at the comparables. You see that? Okay. And this is our subject property, this 95,000 bucks. And what you can see in this area is that this blue one, identifies an investor flip. Okay. It means that a property in the area, there's some investor activity and they sold this flip for 155,000. You can go into it. You can see some details around, what they bought it, how it looked, and then how it looked when they sold it. So they bought it in December of 2022 and they sold it in April of 2023. You can see they bought this property for $20,000 and sold it for $155,000. You guys see that number right there? Does everybody see that? Because I get a lot of people who tell me, like, why would somebody ever sell the property at a discount? You can see it right there. Okay, this is public record. Okay, I'll let this person in. So bought it for $155. Now, this could give me an indication of where I would need to be on this potential property. Okay. But I'm not going to go into all of that before I call this person, because what a lot of people tend to do is they find the property and then they go on Zillow and they start looking at comps and they start looking at all these other things. I don't really care about any of that at this point. I just want to know what the heck is going on with this property. Can we buy it? What's going on? And again, I want to create relationship with the agent to see if they have any other deals as well. Can you guys see my Google screen, or are you still looking at Privy? Can you see Google? Yeah. Okay. Are you guys looking at Zillow? I just want to make sure that you're looking at Zillow. Okay, awesome. Okay. So you'll see listed by Lee Gentry. I'm old. I got to make this bigger. Listed by Lee Gentry, 405, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to text Lee. 405 473 2916. And I'm going to use this exact script I put in the chat log. Okay. Hey, Lee, I'm interested. Over on Carter Drive. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note, because I'm going to bang through a couple of these and I don't want to lose my way. So 1108 Carter Drive, and I'm going to write the listing agent's name. Because when this person gets back to me, I want to be able to pull this up quickly. All right. And now we're going to go back into Privy and we're going to look at some more properties. Okay. This is ugly. Geez. Oh, but the inside's nice. Is this not the ugliest looking? Geez, definitely not my flavor, dude. Oklahoma people like different things than California people, that's for sure. Okay. So probably not a good deal to call it because the interior is too nice. That really caught me off guard. Let's check this property out. Let me let Art back in here. Another property, interior is nice. We're going to jump on to the next one. Let's see if we can find something else. There we go. This is the dump I'm looking for. I can already tell right out of the gate. You guys see what I'm looking at? Kitchen's got to be redone. So who's going to, so real quick, and I know I talked about this last week when I was on this, when I was on this call. This property is not going to pass a VA or an FHA inspection or even a conventional inspection. Lenders are not going to loan on this property. Okay. So the only person that is going to buy this property is going to be an investor. Actually, you can see it right here in the notes. Investor special, 3-bed, 1.5 bath, blah, 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 blah. No FHA, VA loans to be accepted. Okay. So this is perfect. So here we go. We're going to try to hit this person up too. Jump in here. Terrifike. All right, let's copy paste this. I love when I text people and it turns blue. It's like just such a win. I absolutely love that. When I see green, I just think to myself, the heck's going on with this person? No offense to any of you Android people out there. Okay, this is 50th Street. 50th Street. Jeremy knows what's up. Hey, are you available for a quick call? Tara, check my stuff. Boom. Cool. So again, I'm going to make notes. 2712 Southeast 50th Street. Tara. Okay. Right back into it. Are you using a CRM for your agent outreach? Not really. I usually do all of my, sort of. How do you mean? Jeremy, you want to jump off mute? Jeremy, you want to jump off mute? We can chat.
Yeah, I'm off mute now.
What's up, dog?
What's going on?
Just chilling. Talk to me.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were using a CRM. There's so many out there to put your notes in, put their buy box, put everything that they're looking for, or what they might have available for agents or for buyers.
So we use high level for our CRM. We also use HubSpot. So we use both of those. I don't really teach much on that. And the reason is because what I find with a lot of new people when they first get started in the business, they focus more on using the CRM and plugging things in than actually doing this part of the business. So this is not necessarily super scalable without a CRM. We definitely use one, but for like new guys, I just tell everybody use like a Google Sheet, just like in the course. Put everything in the Google Sheet and use it that way. Even now with Art and I, we just have like our form populates a Google Sheet. It also populates our CRM, and that just keeps a line list of potential deals we have out there. So you can automate that. But
at this point,
it's going to cost money, bro. And and that's not even a big deal for a lot of people, but this is the bread and butter. Like what I'm doing right now, like I'm going to send out 5 or 6 texts right now. I'm going to try to talk to every single one of these agents today. Like if I just do this this is all I got to do. The deals are coming. And here's the thing. If I talk to these 5 people and send out these 5 letters of intent, it's not enough volume to really need a CRM. Does that make sense? Like if I'm a 1-person deal, like show, like it's just not, the volume is not there. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't want to grow into that space, but where most people struggle, bro, 99% of people get into this business and they don't do any deals. And so
right.
the reason is because they're not doing these things.
I agree. Okay, sounds good. Just seeing what you're using.
Hey, we're using high level. We were thinking about introducing like a high level package that we could sell and do some stuff, but I want to stay super focused on just helping people do this part of the business. If you start doing something, keep me in the loop though, bro.
All right. Always. Thank you.
You got it, dog. Don't get camera shy. Okay, bro. There we go. Cool. So let me share my screen again. We're going to send a couple more of these texts out. Okay. RDO occupied, no access for viewings. Probably want to stay away from this one here. 275. Here we go. So this property here listed 38 days ago. Going to read the information here. Shade tree front yard stands out as a gem. So this property is not in bad shape. It's probably I'm going to send a text on it anyways. It's because it needs to be painted. Kitchen can be redone. There's definitely some value we can add to this thing. And let's just find out what that looks like. Okay. Price cut 9.7, drops to 10,000. Originally listed for sale 285. Michael Bartman. I know this is super boring. I know it's boring watching me text people, but this is the business. 405. Green bubble or sky. I already don't like this guy. What I'll do is if I don't get any calls back from these guys or text back in the next like 10 minutes, I'll just start calling them. Oops. Jump out of here. I already looked at this property. Probably not much of a play there. There we go. Now we're talking. All right, here we go. Modeled in fresh paint. I don't know if I see the same thing you're talking about, you Mr. Agent. Okay, we're gonna go here. See what's going on with this thing. For sales estimate 115. East Point, grab a pizza, blah 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 blah. Set her up. Five. 525 5055. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying the name on YouTube. I don't know how this works. Write this down so I can reference it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, it probably looks a little done up. The exterior, I don't know, maybe it looks good, I guess. All right, let's see. Probably not something I want to mess with. Oh, okay, here we go. Crazy how some of those Oklahoma houses are nasty outside and pretty. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. I know. Sandy, REO occupied, no access for viewings, scary enough to skip it because it's owned by the bank. So it's a whole nother deal when you're doing REO stuff. It's they have rules. A lot of banks won't let you assign contracts and yada yada yada. So it's just, for me, I would rather have calls like these properties, these other properties that we've looked at. These are going to be better properties, and I just don't mess with the REO stuff. So here's the thing. This property, this is what you got to see. All right. This says investor special. Come see the spacious investment property ready for you to finish the whatever. Located on large corner. Seller is a licensed realtor, license number, blah, 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 blah. So when I see a property like this, the first thing I think of is, okay, well, this person probably ran out of money trying to flip this property, right? Because obviously they're doing something. They took some stuff down, whatever. Now, here's the thing. If there was money in this deal, why wouldn't they finish it? It doesn't mean that there's not a good answer for that. Okay. Just the question has to be asked. Why is this property not being finished? I always go into these things with like this kind of skeptic, mindset that everybody is trying to get over on me. Jeremy's laughing because he knows you have to look at these type of deals like this. Like, well, I can see that they put some support beams in there. Like, did they find something that they didn't like? And oops, let me turn my camera back on. Did they find something that they didn't like and now they want to dump it? I don't want to take on this headache. Like, I don't want this to be my problem, but I'm going to call this person anyways. Just because, that's how we roll around here, dog. What happened? So I'm going to copy paste this into Zillow. Do you guys see? I mean, pretty easy stuff. Yeah. There it is. So let's just take a look at it real quick. Yeah, Maria, it's super easy. So what I want to do real quick on this one is I want to go back and I want to see what's going on. Okay, look, here we go. So they bought the property for $56,000. So you see these numbers here? It was listed at 70. They bought it at 56, and now they're listing it for 95. They've probably done some demo work and those types of things. Because I'm just too impatient. I'm just going to call this person. And if 405 3764.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Okay, now I'll text her. See, that's what you gotta do with this guy sometimes. Does anybody else have problem getting a hold of real estate agents, or is it just me? Everybody's shaking their head. Yeah, Johnny. We all have that problem. Okay. At least she's got a blue bubble. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's bang through these things. Prices sell quickly, has tons of whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you'll notice down at the bottom, this thing. 1 second. No. Okay. You notice down at the bottom, it says on this particular listing, it says you won't want to miss this opportunity to make this into your dream home. Nearby homes similar size are selling for $250K. Make your offer today. Maria, I'm considering buying an iPhone. I'm shaming you into an iPhone. So funny. So here's the thing. Here's what you need to know. Okay. Remember, just because an agent says that they're selling for $250 doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. But here's the great thing. When I call this agent, I can ask her for the comps that they used to get that number. So let's just, I'm gonna try to get somebody on the phone. Jeez. Well, these guys sleeping. It's lunchtime. I always say they must have enough money. You must have so much money you don't have to answer your phone. I'm such a jerk. I'm kind of grouchy today too.
Your call has been forwarded to
See?
an automatic voice message system.
All right, let's see. Let's see what this person's name is. Sometimes I like to do this check. Not sometimes, almost always. I'm almost always like to go in here and just see the kind of history around when this property was bought and sold, because sometimes it'll be like, well, they bought it in January of 2023 and now they're selling it. And I know that I'm probably potentially dealing with somebody that's doing like a wholesale deal on this. And that sometimes can create a little bit of it can be more difficult to get those deals. I always just like to look and just get an idea of what's going on there. So, and Android until this year, Maria, you're okay. The aspects of both iPhone and Android, I wish we mix match. So if you get Maria, the reason the agents aren't getting back to you is because, to be honest with you, it's just like any other business. There are good agents and there are bad agents. Sometimes, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt and just say, well, maybe they forgot or whatever. Like, that's why you got to like relentlessly just stay after these guys. The good news is if they're not getting back to you, they're probably not getting back to other people as well, which means it's one of the reasons probably the properties are on the market for so long. But, so I always just try to look at it from that perspective. So if you get a voicemail, you automatically hang up without leaving a message. Yeah, I don't leave voicemails because I'm always afraid someone's gonna like hear my voice and maybe not like the way I sound, or maybe I'm gonna like screw up. And I'll tell you more, like there's been so many times where I've called people and I've left voicemails and I've had to hit like 3 to like re-record my voicemail like 50 times, so for me, it's just like easier to send a text, like straight to the point. Like, I'm interested in this property, because then they know like why I'm calling, like I'm a potential buyer. I'm hoping that they, when they see that text, they think to themselves, okay, awesome. I have somebody who is going to bring, like, I'm going to make money on this call. Like, I want to call this guy back because there's a, potential deal there. And one of the things that you'll notice in my text is I don't say I'm an investor. I'm not like, oh, I'm an investor, because a lot of times the agents will be like, oh, this guy just wants to lowball me or whatever. And I want to have that conversation over the phone. I sound like I'm 12 on the phone, so I get it. Yeah, exactly. I always think I don't remember who said this to me one time, but they said something like, you should meet them just in case you don't like their face, which I thought was like a really weird statement. It's probably why I remembered it. But like, I think to myself, like, dude, like, what if this person doesn't like my face? Like, maybe I should keep my face or my voice away from them as long as I possibly can, just to get them on the phone. So it's kind of a weird thing, but that's why I do that. So, okay, I'm going to send this person a text too, or I'm just going to follow up with the text. Oops. Most interesting. Right, on to the next. Actually, me. And I'm just making notes of the property address and the agent's name. So when I get them all back on the phone, I can just go right back to that listing, pull it up, and then have a conversation. Calling all investors, large keeps the home. Special notes, this is a cash only transaction. Motivated sellers bring all deals. Your property, something real estate. I'm just looking at who's listing it, the office number. All right, let's see. Let's call Rebecca, see what she's up to.
You bring Rebecca.
Hey, Jose, are you on this call? Let's see. Let's see if this guy's on here. I've got Jose dialing too. I've got my VA on here and he's dialing pre-foreclosure leads. And if he gets one, I asked him to jump off mute. So let's see. It's kind of like fishing. Oh yeah, I saw this property earlier. Okay, let's see what's up with this thing. Well, not good. It is funny. I know. Free rollout dumpster included. Nice. See what's going on with this thing. It's funny because actually, if you go down here, you can, I mean, this is what's cool about Privy. There's a lot of really cool stuff about this program. But you can see they bought this property in April of 2022. And this is what it looked like when they bought it. So they actually painted it this black color. And they must have bought it with these studs in, or maybe not. This is painted too. So who the heck knows what's going on with this thing? This is just someone's headache they're trying to get rid of. But let's try to call them anyways and just see what's happening. Ready for you to finish? I'm not going FHA. 54 days. Ben Scott. Okay, Ben. Okay, Benjamin.
Well, this is Ben Scott with Western Main Home.
These guys must have too much money. They don't want to take no phone calls. I think a lot of times with these guys too, when they have a property like this and they're getting calls from investors and they know it's not like necessarily a deal that's ever going to go because the numbers don't work. I think they're less inclined a lot of times to go back. So, let's what I'll do is if I can't get anybody on a call, eventually one of these guys will get back to me. If I can't get anybody on a call, I'll record it and I'll post it to my YouTube and I'll throw it in the group so you guys can hear the conversation. This is really what I want you guys to hear is how I'm communicating with these agents. but hopefully at least you guys being able to see how I'm prospecting through, hopefully you guys seeing how I use Privy to prospect deals. Hopefully this creates at least some value for you guys. This is another property that could use some updating. So. What I found early on when I was just kind of getting into this business is that just watching somebody else do the thing, like inspired me to like pick up the phone and dial. And I know that's a lot of people, not you guys, but a lot of people, that's like their biggest problem. And I know a lot of times people will get really discouraged because you can do this type of stuff day in and day out where you're texting and it's only, I think I've hit up maybe 10 people. Like if I only get a couple of these people on the phone, that kind of stuff could be discouraging. It takes time. You have to continually reach out and continually try to get these deals. And that's what makes this business hard. And when you see people on, YouTube and celebrating on different Facebook groups, it can be a little bit misleading because you're only seeing the highlight reel, right? And this is the day in and day out what it takes. And my guy Jose has probably been on the phone all morning, dialing. Oh.
This is Brooklyn.
Hey Brooklyn, this is Johnny. I'm calling about your property over on Eric Field Place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Quick question. So I noticed the property's been on the market for a little bit and you guys recently did the price cut on the 5th. I'm curious to know just like what the status of the property is and what's going on with it.
So there is some significant foundation issues, and I apologize. I actually have another agent handling this transaction for me, and he is on a flight right now, so I'm going to do my best to answer those questions.
Okay.
But I believe that there is some significant foundation issues that have been deterring individuals from putting in offers, or at least something that is acceptable. I do know that the seller has a payoff that's pretty darn close to the list price, so we can't come off it as much as we have already. But that's pretty much what I know.
Okay. It's all, I caught you off guard. It's no problem. So have you guys had offers on the property, or has it been under contract and then it's fallen out, or they're sending out like inspectors and there's just no way for like an investor to make money on this property?
Yeah, I mean, as far as investors pricing goes, I think the numbers are pretty slim there. We haven't had it under contract at all. People have just come out. I'm not aware if somebody has gotten a quote on that foundation. I know that it was talked about there for a bit, but what I can do is I can have the agent that's been handling the transaction, Gavin, reach out to you. He's on a short flight from Dallas here in the next couple of hours and get those answers over to you.
Okay, awesome. I do have a quick, do you have like just like 2 minutes for me? I guess my question would be, you are the listing agent, right? You just have one of your guys handling this for you. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we work as a team in our office, so
Okay.
the listings, under my name, but he's handling for the most part.
Okay, awesome. Well, quick question, just on a property like this, this, and I don't expect you to be right on the button on this, but I just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,200 square feet. If I were to come in and put some money in this and take care of, those foundation issues, and again, I know that it's probably maybe not realistic in terms of the investor, pricing on something like this, but curious to know what your thoughts would be on a potential ARV on something like this, just because you probably, this area better than me.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me look. I can pull it up for you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, of course, my information is not filled out like it should be on our site.
I get
Let
it.
me see if I can check one more place for you. And
Sure.
if not, then I can get you an answer on that pretty quickly, so I can run some quick numbers.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm curious just to know, like, well, if ARV is like around 250, then it's okay. Well, it's probably, nothing to really do here, but if there is a little bit of margin, we'd probably be interested in at least sending somebody out to take a look at it. Couldn't hurt.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, let me get back with you on that as well. And I can run some quick numbers for you.
Okay, awesome. So I called you. Is this your cell number?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I called you for my cell too. So the other thing is that, I'm an investor. I'm actually in Southern California, but everything in Southern California, there's nothing under $1 million here, and there's nothing here to even buy. So I'm just, I'm also looking for other maybe potential like fixers. Is there anything else that you maybe have as a listing that, might fit inside that box?
Let me see. What are you looking to do? Are you buying and hold, or are you just flipping?
I can buy. I mean, I would like to come in and do a value add, but at the end of the day, and flip. But at the end of the day, if I could come in and do a value add and then refinance, out and do some sort of burst strategy, I'd be open to that as well.
Okay. And so we do the same thing typically, and we buy at 75 to 80% of ARV minus repairs. Do you have a specific formula that you're following?
Right now, I would like to say I'm right around the same 70 to 75, but right now, just anything that I can make money on. I mean, right now it's pretty slim picking out that. You're probably seeing that. I would imagine you're seeing the same thing on your end. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, if we can make money, we, generally speaking, we want to make 15% if we can. But we'll do it for less if there's low risk.
I gotcha. So right now, nothing that I really have on the market is going to be fitting in that criteria. To give you a little bit more information about our company, we're the Brett-Boone real estate team, obviously, and we're a residential real estate team, but we're also an investment company as well. So we go out on appointments looking for properties for my broker's personal portfolio, and the properties that he cannot buy, typically the sellers want to list with us for a little bit higher of a price, but we are doing what's called a novation. So we agree on a price, a purchase contract price for a certain amount, and then we put it on the market, and we pay, the buyer's agent, realtor commission, and any repairs that may come about, and the rest of the profit is ours. So typically the stuff that we put on the market is not going to be in the range of the numbers for an investor, especially buying at that 70 to 75% range.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you guys are buying up all the good stuff is what you're saying.
Right. There's some stuff we put on the market we try to hook a residential buyer that might be, savvy with some DIY stuff, or willing to take on a small project that might have a little bit of equity, but not enough for an investor. So.
And then are you guys only in like Oklahoma? Are you guys working in other markets or just this market?
Just Oklahoma for now.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm in Southern California. I mean, it sounds like, there may or may not be an opportunity to work together, but maybe let me know on this deal. It also sounds like, probably based on what you've told me, that this would probably not be something that would work for us, but I would definitely love to stay in touch. I'm in Southern California. So if you guys ever make it out this way, or if you ever find something that's maybe, that might fit in a box, but is not necessarily something for you guys, I'd love to be a guy that you can just, maybe, send a potential opportunity, now and then.
Absolutely. And Gavin's actually going to be the perfect person to make that connection with. He's actually my disposition guy. So I'll make that connection and send your contact over to him, because we do typically probably, a few times a month, slide some through off market to our exclusive buyers list. So I'll get you added to that, and
Awesome.
he'll probably reach out to you either, today afternoon or early tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to text you my info to this number. Cool.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Awesome. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. All right. So what did you guys think? Pretty easy stuff. Pretty easy stuff. Smooth. Jeremy, you're smooth on the phone, dog. I heard you, man. You're smooth on the phone. So again, and this is what I always teach, just as part of the program. I know that, I think everybody on here is part of the program anyways, but this is what I'm always saying, right? Like, I have a conversation about this particular property that's currently on market. I want to ask some questions. Notice that these guys are also real estate investors. So, and this is common. You're going to find real estate agents that are also investors. So whatever doesn't fit in their box, they're going to put on the market, which tells me that they've already looked at the numbers on this property and said, look, it's not worth it for us to do. And they are there in Oklahoma, right? So if they're there in Oklahoma and the numbers aren't good for them, then they're not going to work for us either. And I kind of knew that almost immediately. But again, just practicing what I preach, it's okay, well, let me ask about some off-market stuff. What else do you guys have going on? And then, kind of digging a little bit further, if anything, you ever were to run into anything, maybe in California, this is a long shot, right? So, I don't know if she's ever going to find a property in California, but it's so weird. Like, I'm a man of faith, right? So God always works in our favor and is always stacking things in our favor, right? So it's so weird sometimes how you'll say something to somebody. I found this in my life where I've been like, hey, if you ever have something like X, Y, and Z, then let me know. Like, oh my gosh, I actually have this thing going on. When I was in 2015, some of you guys know my story. I lost my house. I lost everything. I was pretty much homeless with kids that I had to feed. And I was working for a buddy of mine who gave me work doing electrical. Okay. Now I don't know anything about electrical. This was just purely just charity work that he was giving me. I was sweeping floors for $13 an hour. If you've ever visited California, you know that $13 an hour doesn't go very far. It certainly won't feed a family of four. But what I did was, after one day of work, I went to the neighboring businesses, and I just said, because I've always been in sales and not electric, I just started knocking on doors, and I said, hey, look, if you guys need any electrical work done, we're over at this office. We're putting new lights in. If you need anything, we can come out and we can help you. And you wouldn't believe the look on this guy's face. He looked at me like, I can't believe that you're here. We are currently looking for somebody to run electric for our new electric forklift. And we ended up getting a deal out of that. And I got a couple bucks as like a commission. But my point is that you'd be surprised at how many times you'll say something to somebody, just giving them the information. Like, you notice that she didn't say to me, hey, Johnny, if I ever have anything, like, can I send it to you? If I ever have anything in California, if I ever have anything outside of the state, if I ever have something inside my office, she didn't say that to me. It's my job to bring that up to her, to let her know what it is that I do. Okay. And this is how you can win, right? Like, so having those calls, and you see, like, I've been prospecting for an hour and I've had one phone call, but I've sent another 10 text messages. I'll probably get some other people on the phone. And then when I am having those calls, something will come out of it. The thing is it's about being consistent over time, having those consistent conversations. I will grab her. I will add her to my list. I'll add her to my CRM, and I'll continue to stay on touch with her. Right. And I'll put her on a drip campaign. I'll make sure she has my information so she can send me deals. And that's what this business is all about. You do that consistently over time and you will get deals. So it's 10:58. I'm sorry I couldn't talk to more people. I wish I got more people on the phone and could give you guys some better examples. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff and got some value out of this. I'm going to go have some steak and eggs because I'm starving and I didn't go to the gym. So I'm going to the gym right after. So God bless, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're very welcome. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. Good morning and all that good stuff. Or goodbye.